One of the problems with the BBC, as you can imagine, is the way that it's funded. And currently our culture minister, the Right Honourable Lisa Nandy, remember her? She was the woman, of course, who said that she would much prefer to have Princess Meghan on the throne than indeed Princess Catherine. Oh yes, and that's detailed on a Channel 4 documentary. Fascinating to think that this is exactly how people think our great country should be represented. Years ago, the BBC was one of those things that everybody trusted, but sadly the mainstream media has now fallen foul of itself. And consequently, while they're looking for funding and more money from you and I, they're now looking for this. As ever, let me explain. Morning chums, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome one and all brand new subscribers. Many of you watch this show on a regular basis, and thank you for joining me. Many of you watch me often say, you're amazed at the fact that we pay to the BBC. Well, you're not alone. We're all amazed that we pay to the BBC, particularly when you think about the fact that they don't want the older generation. And by older, I'm talking 40 plus, If you look at it, the demographic is all about young children, young kids, everything's pushed to them. The only show that you could really say is targeted, and they're embarrassed about this, but it makes a lot of money, are things like Strictly Come Dancing and Mrs. Brown's Boys. One of the most popular and profitable shows from the BBC over the last 30 years is the brilliant Only Fools and Horses, starring my good friend Sir David Jason. But remember, when that came out, the BBC didn't think it was going to be a hit. A little bit like Are You Being Served, Dad's Army, or The Golden Greats. Always the BBC seemingly has been run by people of complete ineptitude. Consequently, you've got headlines like this. That's right, 20,000 sick days from BBC staff, all suffering apparently from mental health. Maybe they're watching the channel too much, who knows? But consequently now, this is turning into something of an epidemic. And what's interesting with the BBC, particularly from an insider's point of view, and I can tell you this firsthand, is the fact that the staff are not asked to turn up every single day, like you and I, to turn up at the desk. Oh, no. They can work from home. They can do Zoom chats. They can zip out and maybe have a sauna, yoga mat and all this sort of stuff. It's such an easy peasy organisation to work in. And on top of all of that, if there's a complaint, for instance, that somebody appears not to be pulling their weight, human resources, and I'm talking to you human resources, right? Well, they don't want to cause a ripple. They'd rather that it just be let away. So certain staff members have been sick now for over a year, but they can't be brought back because of their mental health. Meanwhile, your mental health about how you're going to pay the BBC TV licence is not considered. Next year, 2026, they're stepping up their attack on making sure they get the money from the people that they believe are watching the company illegally. Well, that is, of course, the middle class company, right? They don't go after many others. And do not forget that many people watch the BBC, including the thousands of migrants for free inside those luxury, mega heated, free hotels, right? But if the BBC couldn't get it any worse, they've decided now to launch a quiz with none other than Amanda Holden, and this has tanked considerably. Now, Amanda got this job simply because ITV This Morning didn't want her, all thanks to Philip Schofield, and she's had something of a minor success doing up dilapidated buildings in Italy with the comedian Alan Carr. So suddenly the BBC believe that we want to see more of Amanda. It's a chilling thought to find that even for Amanda, as pretty as she is, and of course the former flame and wife of the comedian Les Dennis, well, seemingly were not willing to pay. Back to Lisa Nandy. She's looking at how exactly we are now going to be funding the BBC, and every single household will be assessed as to whether they are watching the programmes, the news, the radio or not. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because, as I've often said, it's a bit like the digital ID platforms. They think they can push fast and hard, but there are many loopholes that people are seemingly, like, of course, all the driver delivery bikes who simply do not pay British tax, but they can't go after them. But law-abiding citizens who they believe may be shamed and, of course, forced into paying the money, well, they'll certainly go after them. Either way, the BBC once again has got a lot of problems, and that's not even mentioning the former star presenter Hugh Edwards. Neil Sean in the very heart of the United Kingdom.